We've always crossed this creek at this point, but we haven't been for years, so it's time to build a bridge. Stick with us. So as you can see, we're starting the first phase of building a bridge. We're going to have to dig our holes down to the ground, get ourselves below the frost line, set our abutments, put our steel in, put the wood up on top, and we have a bridge. I've engineered it. I've had an engineer go ahead and give me the specs on this. It can hold 12,000 pounds when it's all said and done. Don't expect to get there too often, but it's there. You'll never question it if you're crossing at 8,000 or 6,000. You'll never question it because it's good enough. So, this is the point at which we normally cross over. I was going to move it, but I think this is a great location just because of how it sits versus everything else. Now, you would think that building one bridge would be enough. That's not going to happen. We're going to have two bridges, and that's all because of what I have going on with the pond to my right. So I have a bridge over the spillway. If you've been with the channel, you've seen that before. That needs to be built. So we'll be building two bridges over the next couple episodes. So let's get to this one. We're going to put a foot of rock in to make sure that we have a nice foundation for the abutments. We're going to then turn around and give it a good compaction and set our abutment in. Original height was here.
Yep.
Then we said 6 inches above it, and this shoreline was always 6 inches below this shoreline, so that's a foot.
Yep.
Okay. So it should stick out of the ground here at least a foot. Yeah. So
your bridge is 6 inches
above the creek side right there.
Yep.
That right there. This side would be a little bit higher.
Yep.
And yeah, I might need to stain. I made my call yet.
Now that so you're putting the rock side out then?
Yeah.
The deck.
Oh, towards the street? No.
No,
It'll be
so
towards the creek.
I guess so.
You will see the front side of it.
Yeah.
One good note is this is the best kind of weather to work in. Nice overcast, probably right around 60. Just a hint hotter than I'd like it to be. I like it in the 50s when I'm working up here, but going good. We'll keep with it. set this one and then go grab the other one and kind of play with them?
Yeah, just make sure that sucker's all level.
So it needs to be pushed down just a little bit on the back. Almost perfect. It's a little high here and a little high here. Good. Just a tad high in the back. Just a tad. In fact, we're on. Yeah, it's good. One thing I haven't mentioned is that we are using these precasts, and the reason why I'm using them is frankly for ease. It's a little bit more expensive to be certain. If you look at all the four pieces combined, it's a little over $900. So obviously if I would have built the form out of concrete, established some sort of base, it'd be far less, probably $200 to $300 worth of materials, but the labor would have gone up dramatically. These are pretty simple to work with. Another thing is this little slot here is perfect for our J bolts, and so that'll just lay right in there. Put 9 inches of concrete in it, rock it for the bottom, 9 inches of concrete, and set our bolts with the steel on it. So it makes it a lot quicker than trying to work with building your own form, setting it up, waiting the 30 days, getting everything to be cured, and then work with it. So I'd rather just go this path. I'm not saying it was the most cheap path or the cheapest path, because it wasn't. It is more decorative though. So back here up at the shop, so I'm going to go ahead and get into cleaning up these beams. So a little bit of rust, not too terrible. And once I get that cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and move on to drilling the holes. We have the magnetic drill, so we'll go ahead and get that lined up perfectly so the holes are lined up exactly as we mark. And get these all prepared for shipping them back down to the pond area there in the waterfall spillway so that we can build these bridges. You know, each one of these steps, to be fair, I've never done before. So I've not even cleaned steel before. But I can tell you it's a pretty simple process. We have the tools. That's the one advantage we definitely have here. We have the tools. We've invested in them. And oddly, more and more, we're using more and more of those tools. So with that, let me get into cleaning these up, and then we'll move on to the drill. So the sanding is completed, and I was just researching a little bit what W6x9 means, because I noticed that the beam itself was 4x6. So it's an I-beam, you know, and it's just a particular wide flange. That's what the W stands for. The 6 stands for the depth of the beam, which is 6 inches deep, which is exactly what it is, nominal depth. And then the 9 stands for the pounds per linear foot of weight of material. So it's just another tidbit that you learn. One thing about doing projects like this you've never touched before, if you take that extra step to jump into AI and learn what it is you're working with, it's just information, somewhat maybe seems down the road kind of useless because I don't know if I'm going to be doing a lot of steel work as time goes on. But hey, it's knowledge. So with that, let's cut into the next step, which is drilling in. I've set up the mag drill, and now it's time to mark up our steel beams. This is the 11-foot steel beams for the secondary bridge. I'll work on the 9-foot beams for the primary bridge in a minute. But I'm going to go ahead and put 6x6s on top of this per the engineer's plans. I'm going to gap them out by 1/4 inch for swelling purposes. And each one of those gaps obviously going to be 6 inches. So I get to 23 boards on this because I'm only taking off 1/4 in the gap. If it was a 1/2 inch, then I would only need 22 boards. But I'm going to put 23 boards with a 1/4 inch gap. It's just going to be a hint over on the end, and I like that because at the end I'm going to go ahead and have to put a ground contact board so that the gap that is produced by the steel here is covered, so that the product of the road base doesn't just keep slipping underneath. So I'll put some sort of barrier there that'll keep it from rolling underneath. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and mark this boy up. I'm going to first start off by putting my gaps. Start off with 2 7/8, and then go ahead and mark 5 3/4 all the way down. And then once I get to that, I'll go ahead and draw across all 4 beams and set myself up for the eventual lines that are going to come down across it to get my pinpoint, and then we'll start drilling. The holes are going in really, really well, nice and clean. The machine is terrific, really smooth, and gets the job done. So I'm going to go ahead now, finish these off, and then come back and do a little bit of burr clean out on the bottom, and then go ahead and acetone to get this oil off so that I can prime it. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to those next steps now. All the steel has been acetoned and it is ready for painting. So I'm going to go ahead and roll out and do such. Start off with a primer, and then I'll come back with a top coat. So per the engineer's requirements, we're 9 inches down. When we go to set the J-bolt, we'll put them in 6 inches into the mud. So what we'll do today is put the gravel in, put some liner so the concrete doesn't sink down into the water, hold it all in place, and then immediately place these steel beams pre-drilled as you have already seen to go right in, and we'll set them today, and then tomorrow we'll go back and put the wood on. But today is all about just laying the beams in on this bridge and the other one. Okay. Oh. Okay. So you're going to use that to kind of fill in, bring it up to, I mean, you can bring it up to height on the back side there, of course.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the front kind of needs, and I'll be right there, to just kind of get sloped up. You know what I mean?
You want to use dirt on the front then?
Yeah, well, what do you think? Rock? Rock's getting thin in the skin.
Oh yeah, I would have, but not this rock. It'll, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm going to put the rock on top of the plastic at the end.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Ourselves some room at the top for dirt, ready for rock. You know, I don't know, because it's going to be that much higher. That might be a good idea, actually. We're going to have to build up the rock right here.
Yeah.
Now, this bridge will come all the way to here. The wood, everything. So, you know, build up rock around the side of it type thing. But we'll need all these little boulders everywhere.
Yeah. Want to fill them both, or?
Yep. Do it.
Calculation's going to be pretty darn good, I think.
Huh?
I said your calculation's going to be pretty darn fun. 5 bags per bag?
Yep. left and right. I don't know.
I think we'll be. You ready?
Yep.
I got mine.
How do you know which way you're facing?
Because I held them when I went in. I kept pressure on them.
Okay, let's just put the next one in.
Okay.
We'll do all the measurements in post. As you just saw, the steel beams went in. Didn't go as smooth as I would have liked it, but did line out exactly as the plan was. So the good news is it completed well, there's some learnings, and we have a second bridge to build. So we'll take those learnings and transfer them over, and all is well. Everything, is turning out exactly as planned, and that's very exciting in its way. There's a couple frustration moments that I think I just have to be better with. And yeah, so tomorrow we'll get on to it. I will go ahead and put the steel in tomorrow on the second bridge, and then come back over here and work on the wood and start that process. There's some learnings there as well that I got to work through. So we'll share that out.